The king has returned. That's kind of what it felt like, seeing Ahmed Best back in Star Wars with a different character, yes, but it felt like a redemption in the eyes of the masses, because we know that Jar Jar Binks has been kind of the scapegoat about the cheesiness of the prequels. Basically, anytime people like to complain about the prequels, episodes 1, 2, and 3, it's always, I hate sand and Jar Jar Binks. So it's really amazing that Disney, Lucasfilm, gave him the opportunity to come back as this Jedi character. We're going to talk about who he is, who he might be, some history involved with that, as well as just, was this the best move Disney's ever made? Because we all know Disney has made some missteps before, but I think they really nailed it with this one. Maybe it's not that important to the most people, but to me, and I know to a lot of you as well, it was just, this is a happy moment, if you know what I mean. Also, in our news segment, some breaking news. We're releasing some never-before-seen footage right here. Has to do with TikTok and the future of national security, so you want to stick around for that right here on Coffee on Korriban. Hello and welcome back to the show. It's very good to see you guys. Running a little bit late tonight. It took a little while to get the padawans to bed, get everything into StreamYard, and get prepped for the show. Kind of threw the studio together very last minute, but the comment of the week comes to us from none other than Mr. Nekbadesh himself. He says, this is, speaking of Jar Jar, Ahmed Best returning to Star Wars, by far the best thing that Lucasfilm has ever done. I think I might agree with you. As you can tell by the title of this stream and what we're going to really be talking about tonight, was this a really, really solid move by Disney? Is this the best single move that they have ever done since purchasing Lucasfilm? I think it might be. And there's a couple different aspects to that I want to talk about. Obviously it's cool to see a returning actor, but also it's sort of a redemption. Not to me, because again, I loved the character of Jar Jar, and we all kind of agree now that Ahmed Best was treated horribly at the time. But it's really cool in the general population's eyes to see him come back in a more favorable light, in a very, very cool way, and a way that honors the character that he's now playing in rescuing Grogu. We're going to dive into that a little bit later. Let's say hello to the people in chat. We've got Cat DRL2. Here is a sip for you. You are here and we are live. Good to see you. Jake76, here's a sip for you. We're doing all right. We're doing well. Well enough, I suppose. Nekbadesh, commenter of the week. Here is a sip for you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Trying. Definitely trying. It's a work in progress. We got Charlie in the chat. Here's a sip for you. Training and listening. Awesome. And we plan on staying awesome. So, first question I want to pose to all of you right now. Was this an excellent move, or was it subpar or whatever, bringing back Ahmed Best? What are your thoughts on that, on just bringing him back into Star Wars, whether it's with Jar Jar Binks or not? Do you think this was sort of a redemption for him? Just what are your generic thoughts on that? I've kind of already talked about mine. I know I'm late in uploading my reaction to this episode. Hopefully that will be up tomorrow. I mean, there's only so many hours in the day that I can squeeze in working on this sort of stuff. But I just was floored. If you saw the little clip that I posted earlier, the shorter video that included my reaction to that scene specifically, you'll know that I almost broke my headphones, flew out of my chair pretty much. It was just very unexpected. I did not ever plan or expect to see him back in Star Wars at any point, mainly because I always viewed Disney of having the opinion that they wanted to stay as far away from Jar Jar Binks from the prequels as possible. because we see articles all the time that are like, well, we know that everyone hates the prequels, you know, I hate sand and all that. And I figured that those voices from the media outlets were loud enough to drown out any chance that Disney might have on really honoring the prequels. Now, we've seen in recent years Disney kind of coming around, so to speak, where they're honoring Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen in Obi-Wan Kenobi and really paying homage to some of those prequels themes, action scenes, characters, as well as the sound effects that they're bringing back. I thought was a really cool touch as well. So I guess for a while, looking back, Disney has been kind of coming around on the prequels and not shying away from paying them homage. And this just kind of really puts the icing on the cake. And I honestly have a totally differing opinion of Disney and Lucasfilm now that they've done this. And here's the thing. It wasn't a pointless cameo. It wasn't completely meaningless. It wasn't just like, oh, hey, there's Jar Jar, there's the actor, and he's in the background. Oh, he got shot. I mean, this was a very important role that he was given, that the character was given. Let me turn on some music real quick, and then we might get into the mood, if you know what I'm talking about. Where's that? There it is, and I think, what did we have it before? 26? Does that sound about right? Let me know how the audio levels are to everyone out there. I am solo streaming as of right now. Let's see. Nek Padesh says, my jaw was on the floor seeing him appear. Yeah, it was a legitimate, I'm Luke Skywalker and I'm here to rescue you moment. But for us, like we were the ones being rescued from maybe our resentment towards Disney. It's special moment, and for me personally, up there with the Luke Skywalker hallway scene. It's the feeling is hard to explain. Aiden S, here is a sip for you, good sir. Good to see you. And Tom Jensen says, I loved it. It was so human, which is against perception. I was happy for Best and hope they take this character further. I absolutely do. I was really hoping he wouldn't just get taken out during that chase scene. And that's another thing we'll get to in a little bit later, is the nostalgia kind of that Order 66 scene. It flowed so perfectly from what we've gotten in Revenge of the Sith, and like a few people have commented previously on other things. It felt like they did it better than we saw in the Book of Boba Fett. Was it the Book of Boba Fett? I think it was. But it definitely feels like they approached it from the right way, and they were really capitalizing on making it as seamless to Episode 3 as possible. I'm really happy they did. Charlie says, for me, I had a few happy tears because unfortunately so-called fans given that man unnecessary hate. So seeing this epic win for a human being, no need for redemption, he was always awesome. Completely agree. And I said in the video I uploaded earlier today, I think he needed any redemption. But in the eyes of the general population, they're going to see him as an actor in a different light than just Jar Jar, which people love to hate. So very happy for him. I hope that he is greatly encouraged in seeing the response to his character coming back. I really do hope that for him, in the same way that we were all hoping that Ewan McGregor would really appreciate like how much we love him coming back, obviously, as Obi-Wan, but also Hayden Christensen, because he also got a lot of hate for his role as Anakin. And whether or not Obi-Wan Kenobi was a successful series in terms of playing the story out correctly or not, I really do hope that those actors, all three of them, Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, and now Ahmed Best, I really do hope that they are feeling appreciated and feeling the love from the true fans. Father Time, I have sent you the link. If you're eating, you can finish up eating or join and eat on here. Let's see. He's been so grateful on Instagram. Good to see. Awesome. That is very, very good to say hello to your brick wall for me. That's awesome. I'm glad Best could redeem himself, and that the fandom loves him. Seeing him was my favorite part of the Order 66 scene by far, and it was a long Order 66 scene. I think it was about a seventh of the entire runtime of the episode was just that flashback. It felt like it went by so fast, but at the same time, it just felt like it kept going on forever and ever, which I have no problem with at all. It really you're backstage. Did I send you the wrong link again? Hold up. Let me send the right link if I've sent the wrong one. Okay, that is the right one. I did send the wrong one. And I sent the wrong one to the Mug Club as well. My bad, guys. Right link. See, this is what happens when you realize that you're supposed to go live in about 5 minutes and you don't even have your lighting set up. That's what happens. There he is. Wait. Oh, stinger. Hold up. Let me play a stinger. I got a new one.
It's treason then.
You are fake news. I love it. I was backstage going,
I know. I've done that before. So the reason that happens so often, where's my background?
Aiden, there's my backdrop.
Yeah, the brick wall is back. The reason that does that is because I use a separate recording thing in StreamYard to record my little intro video that I play. And I oftentimes forget to switch back over before I send the link. So I sent you until my little recording session, unfortunately.
Funny. Well, I was there.
All right. So first off, what are your thoughts on this episode as a whole? What's your rating of this episode? How'd you like it?
8 to 8.5.
Wow. That's higher than I would have expected from you. So one thing that I wanted to touch on first, and I think you'll agree, this episode seemed like it started out as a fetch quest.
Yeah. So
obviously the raptor comes, and which I think is a pretty unoriginal name for that creature, comes down, grabs the kid, Vizsla's kid, and takes off. And it's like, no, we can't scare it away with our jetpacks. We have to form a search and rescue party and go. Like, it's like, okay, we get where the episode's going. And so that's how it started out. That's not how it finished, though.
No.
So what were some highlights for you of this episode? And did you realize who it was that saved Grogu?
No.
You did not. Okay.
I did not. I just went with the story.
Looking back now, do you know who that was?
No.
You don't?
No.
You don't know who saved Grogu?
There was a lot of people handing him off from person to person.
The black guy that saved him, the main guy that took him away and got him on the ship and actually saved him, got him off Coruscant. You don't know who that is?
Well, I do, because I was just backstage watching you.
Oh,
but...
okay. All right.
I didn't
Jedi
know
Jar
it
Jar
until
himself.
Today.
Okay, Jedi Jar Jar himself.
Yeah.
Ahmed Best. So,
but not as Jar Jar.
But not as Jar Jar, obviously. So what do you know of kind of the history of the reaction to the character of Jar Jar way back when the episodes 1, 2, and 3 were coming out? And what do you know of this as being kind of like a redemption for him as an actor?
Oh, we talked about it. He got the raw end of the deal there. And he just got all kinds of non-love because people didn't like the character. And I don't think it was because of him. It was because of what he was given to work with. So,
yeah. And that's the frustrating thing, is because, as I said in the intro, people point to I hate sand, which I love that line, by the way, and Jar Jar Binks as like, look at how bad the prequels were. They were fun, but they were cheesy because look at Jar Jar Binks. That's usually what people point to. And I think that Ahmed Best did an amazing job as Jar Jar Binks, and it's really frustrating. It's been frustrating, rather, and I'm glad that he's feeling the love now from him coming back, because I think a lot of fans, myself included, that have such a huge place in our heart for the prequels have always been like, Mr. Best, like if you were in front of us, I just want to give you a hug and thank you for my childhood, so to speak. And I think that's kind of been lacking because we haven't had an opportunity to show any appreciation, because the last thing we saw him as was Jar Jar Binks.
And how would I have known that was him?
You wouldn't have. And that's why it was a very subtle Easter egg for us, but a welcome one. So you said
before I saw it, somebody said, "Oh, Jar Jar's in there." I'm like, "Okay, A, don't ruin it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
B, I don't believe you." Now I get it. Right, so.
All right. So you said 8.5.
Yeah.
What other standout things? Because obviously the Ahmed Best cameo didn't increase that rating at all.
No.
So what other things in this episode contributed to that rather high score?
I think the inclusion and leadership skills of what's her face, leading the mission to save. Yeah, leading the mission to save the youngling. I mean, they all bought in, and they're like, "You are now fully one of us." I think Vizsla has respect now for Mando where he didn't before, so I think that was a big deal. I think the custom armor was cool, and Grogu showing some skill was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was very cool. Yeah, all those things.
I would never give it a 10 because that kid would be so dead. He'd be dead.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have made it out.
We did have to suspend some disbelief at certain parts during that,
which
episode.
I was okay with, but
it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
We were commenting as it was happening when they were climbing up. We're like, okay, someone's gonna fall off. They're gonna have to use a jetpack to save their life and wake it up, or sacrifice themselves so that they can sneak up on it. And none of that happened, but it was still fun to play along as it was going.
Yep. Nek Badesh says he loved the interactions between the different Mandos and Grogu overall. Lots of parenting moments that I feel hard as a dad. Hardcore agree. Full on, I agree with that. Everything from what did I think of when I was watching this? The other day in Kroger, my oldest Padawan whispers to me in line, she's like, "Daddy, I want some stickers." Because the cash or the register people, checker out people, what are they called? At grocery stores, the people that check you out.
Grocers?
The grocers always have little stickers that they give to kids and stuff, and so she wanted a sticker, and I'm like, you're old enough, ask for stickers. I'm like, go ahead, you can do this. Kind of pushing them out there. That's what I thought during this cashiers. Why the grocers?
Cashiers. I thought that was the nut.
What did you say? You're sounding like a separatist.
The curved nuts.
The cashews?
Yeah.
The cashiers, cashew.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that.
No, but Grogu had to do it on his own, and Mando's like, "No, I'm not helping you. It's your deal. Don't look at me. Look at him." Yeah.
You're absolutely right. We will touch on the kind of aspect of Bo-Katan and how she's adjusting after we kind of wrap up our discussion about Ahmed Best. So how did you like that whole Order 66 scene? Because it was rather long. It was about 4 minutes.
As soon as it turned into a flashback, my first thought was, oh no. But it was needed, I think. It was pretty cool. And I didn't notice the length of it, which was, I guess, a good thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, you're right. I didn't want it to end.
Mm-hmm.
I did not. And maybe that's for me, again, the nostalgia of the Coruscant skyline, again, as I have behind me, and all the callbacks in the sound effects that were used that were straight from the prequels, the diving down on the speeder bike, which was the same as Anakin diving down with Obi-Wan in the co-pilot seat. It felt so good, which again I did not expect from this show. The Mandalorian has been the fun adventure, crash the ship, fix it, go off, maybe a couple important episodes per season, but so far this season has really been blowing me away as a whole, and I was
expecting, however, I was expecting to get a little bit of more info on our scientist buddy. The brain play. I didn't get any of that.
Yeah, we'll probably get back to him next week or the week
episode
after.
as a whole felt short. I don't know if it was or not.
So the total runtime was 33 minutes, including credits. So about 27 minutes total.
Yeah.
It's pretty short, going from last week's, which was including credits about an hour long, 59 minutes.
For sure.
So yes, it was definitely shorter, but I think that splitting it up with Mandalorian happenings, flashback Mandalorian happenings, made it felt longer than it was, because 27 minutes is not a very long time. But yes, the clone ships as well, chasing him down.
Oh yeah,
was awesome.
As soon as he landed, they were like right behind him.
Who was it? Aiden, this might have been you in Discord that was mentioning that the pilot for the LAATs was not wearing the pilot insignia and was just wearing normal clone things. And I can't remember if that was you and...
Wasn't me.
No, it wasn't you.
That was not me.
All right, well, let's take a quick break from this discussion and let's talk about... Man, I have too many stingers. The news from the stars.
From the farthest corners of the galaxy and every channel in the holonet, we bring you news from the stars.
News from the stars.
So, Google recommended an article to me the other day. I saw the headline.
Are you kidding?
I thought I would check it out and share it with you guys.
How do you get that turned on? I want to find that feature.
I have a Google phone. I have a Google phone. It literally will just, anytime there's an article like anywhere that it thinks I'm going to be interested in, it just puts it as a notification. And most of the time it's fairly accurate in what it thinks that I like. So anyway, this article comes to us from, I don't remember because I screenshotted it wrong. Anyway, it's by Rajdeep Majumdar. Sorry, dude. But it's titled 3 New Star Wars Movies Reportedly Being Announced at Star Wars Celebration Event as Kathleen Kennedy scrambles to keep her job at Lucasfilm as Lucasfilm president. So right off the bat, this is a huge revelation of information. We're getting 3 new movies. Bless you. We're getting, right off the bat, that's cool. We're getting 3 movies, right? Reportedly, if this leak is true, we're getting 3 movies, and also, important to a lot of people, Kathleen Kennedy's job is at stake. And I don't know how much... There's a gnat on my mic. I don't know how much you know about kind of how people view Kathleen Kennedy, who she is, or anything like that. What do you know about that situation?
Her grandfather was the president.
Yes. Met an untimely death. Yeah, unfortunately, he, towards the end of his life, he just lost his mind.
Ooh. Wrong guy.
Wrong. Okay. Anyway, Kathleen Kennedy is the president of Lucasfilm. A lot of people point directly to her when they talk about how awful the sequels were, right? Personally, I don't think she's that involved with the individual projects, but I guess you got to hold someone accountable when something bad comes out, like the sequels. So a lot of people hate her for that reason, and they think as long as she's out of the position of president at Lucasfilm, all is well in the world.
Did she?
I don't agree with that. She was head of Lucasfilm when all 3 came out.
Okay.
So she, if you want to say that she was,
decisions. Yeah.
Sure, she was the president of the company. She was picking the people, which is why a lot of people credit her with what we got. So this article starts by saying Star Wars is one of the oldest franchises out there in Hollywood universe, which are yet in the running and have completely captured the fans' hearts from the get-go with its extraordinary picturization and plots. I don't really care for this writing style. The franchise mainly revolved around the fictional universe, a sci-fi universe that turned into a worldwide cultural phenomenon. And apart from being one of the oldest, it is also one of the most successful franchises out there in terms of box office collections. I don't think we would disagree with that.
Nope.
Star Wars is immensely popular, profitable, and if you account for merchandise and just hard copies of movies sold,
They probably sold millions of dollars worth of stuff.
It's going to be in the billions. I would multiple billions. I mean, they purchased the company for what, 6.6 billion from a couple $100. Money. But this article continues. In recent times, the franchise, and just another check for daddy. I got to get that as a clip. The franchise has diverted from what it used to be, a force to be reckoned with multiple box office failures. It seemed like the franchise has shifted its focus more on TV shows and series than the development of movies, which has resulted in a steep downfall of the franchise. There were many recent movies released by the franchise. The fan reactions were quite poor. So it's kind of putting a blanket statement, this article, and this Rajdeep guy, Mahumdar, whatever his name was, he's kind of putting a blanket statement on, because there's no movies and the last movies to come out were negative, therefore everything is going downhill. It's a pretty broad statement, but I would assume if we got any more movies, this guy, Rajdeep, would be happier with the state of Star Wars. But the article continues. In a recent episode of the podcast, The Hot Mic with Jeff and John, Jeff Snyder revealed some crucial information about the future of Star Wars and what Lucasfilm's president Kathleen Kennedy has in store for them. This guy is not punctuating correctly. I don't know. Is this the Snyder from the Snyder Cut? Someone in of
Jack and John?
Yeah.
Bill and Ted?
Oh, has it really? 80%, really? Interesting. Yeah, I would agree with you there until they show a trailer. Some more drama. Favreau does not like her after meddling with the shows. Interesting.
I don't like her. I don't even know
Good
her.
to see you. Yeah.
I don't like her skill level.
All right. Well, this article continues. Jeff Snyder in the recent podcast with John Roca, whoever that is, shared that the recent situation of the Star Wars franchise is quite poor, and development seems to be a far-fetched theory. And just like what happened to the DCEU, as new executives were hired and appointed to lead a new DC universe, the same will happen to Lucasfilm, as they will be having a new president by the end of 2025 if they do not meet the requirements. The conditions laid to Lucasfilm were that by the Christmas of 2025, if a Star Wars movie does not hit theaters, President Kathleen Kennedy will have to resign from the position and pass it on to her successor.
Wow, these guys got some inside info.
I guess so. This is all news to me, and which is why I wanted to share with you guys and get your opinion on it. Because, I mean, movies or she's out, I guess. Seems like a pretty severe ultimatum.
Movies or you're out. That's great.
Yeah, pretty much. That does seem rather close, rather short time frame by Christmas 2025, which would mean production would have to, at least pre-production, would have to have been started right now.
Yeah.
And
what's the storyline? What's the timeline? Yeah,
come up with something or you're out, I guess. But the article finishes off by saying, this is Jeff Snyder, I guess. This is a big move, not just for Star Wars, but for Kathleen Kennedy herself. So I'm told that Kathleen Kennedy's whole job depends on having a movie in theaters on Christmas Day 2025. If there's no movie on Christmas Day 2025, there's no job. I am told that three movies will be announced at Star Wars Celebration. Can someone in chat, I was just going to ask that, can someone in chat give me a date on Star Wars Celebration if you know it? But apparently we are getting an announcement of 3 movies at Star Wars Celebration. And if we do not get a movie by Christmas 25, then she's out. So Celebration is in 2 weeks.
I'm sure everyone would know before Christmas 2025 if that's a thing or not.
Lies. Deception. Bullshit. She is one of the most powerful people in Hollywood. She has a say in the Jurassic World films and Marvel films. Yeah, I don't think she is one to receive ultimatums and have to bow to their wishes. So, just from what I know.
So April 10th. Somebody says April 10th.
I guess so. So we will know whether we have 3 whole
That's
movies
like
announced.
around the corner, literally.
Yeah. So if this inside information is true,
Tom Jensen says 2 weeks. Yeah, that's
she has the ultimatum, which they make it sound like she was just presented with this ultimatum, like, hey, announce movies in 2 weeks, or you lose your job in 2 years. Like, that seems a little sketchy. I don't know if I trust this. So Rajdeep Mundahar. What was his name again? Let me pull that up. Rajdeep Mujamdar. Mumbo Jumbo. Rajdeep Mumbo Jumbo. Thank you very much for the article. Google, I guess, thanks for suggesting it to me. I don't really know.
I want to know who the Jack and Steve are.
Yeah, I don't even know. And how do they know about the inside workings of ultimatums in Hollywood? So, I don't know. Thanks, I guess, Google, for recommending this article, but that's the news from the stars.
From the farthest corners of the galaxy and every channel in the holonet, we bring you news from the stars.
Da-da-da-da. I like news from the stars.
I do too.
A lot of stuff.
So now, our news segment, the way the news goes. I don't know if you heard my little tease in the intro. I don't even think I really even mentioned it, but the whole talks recently about TikTok possibly being banned, and we're having congressional hearings on all this. I do have an inside scoop. The CEO, what's his name? Chew on a shoe, was caught on a hot mic revealing some hidden technologies in the TikTok app that are quite concerning. We're going to get to that in a little bit, but first let's continue our discussion
and get
on
JT.
The Mandalorian.
I'll do a water sip. I got that.
Let's see. Where's he at? Just jumping in quick before bed. Here's a sip for you. Oh, haven't seen the episode. He was invited on, but awesome. I appreciate that. And thank you, Mr. Star Wars guys, Master Paul. If you guys want to help the channel in a very slight way, just delicately tap that like button. Don't smash it or anything. I'd hate for you to break your phone. Just delicately tap that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, you can always do that. You guys know how YouTube works. And if you really, really want to show some support, there's always the super chat option, unless YouTube's being weird again. Let's say we will know for sure. We will know for usual if Dave wears a t-shirt with Kathy dies on it. I'm pretty sure that would send a pretty strong message. Master Paul, I was really hoping you were jumping on tonight because I really wanted to hear your take on the big plot twist of this episode. You probably already know.
You don't want to say Grogu dies.
No, I'm not going to say that. There's always the world between worlds. They can always bring Grogu back, but like R.I.P. little guy.
That was a joke, by the way.
Absolutely. Yes, Grogu doesn't die.
Out already. Volume down.
Yeah. All right, Master Paul, this is your chance to get off before we talk about anything else. All right, next thing I wanted to talk about was Bo-Katan. What could her reasons be for staying in this cult? And there's 3 options. I made a video on this. I haven't edited and uploaded it yet, but there's 3 options that come to mind. And running through them really quickly, either she's a genuine convert to the tradition of Mandalore, or she finally feels a sense of belonging that she's never had before, and so she feels like, I'll stick around with these guys and see how it plays out. And the third option is that she's just learning the ins and outs of the different Mandalorian sects so she can rule them better when she feels she has an opportunity to do so. We're going to talk about that in just a minute, but Master Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Do you know the plot twist?
Yes, Jar Jar's
back. Okay. So having not seen the episode, I don't really want to try to give you a ton of things that you don't already know, but what are your initial thoughts on that major plot twist?
It's okay. I really don't feel... I'm glad that Ahmed Best is getting a chance to play a character that people have a better chance of liking. But as far as it being that character, from at least from my point of view, a throwaway little game show that aired on YouTube, I mean, they could have chosen someone better. They could have chosen someone worse.
Yeah, I appreciate that take. And I honestly don't know a whole lot about his character. I can't even really recall his name.
Kelleron Beck is what his name.
Yes, that's right.
His name.
You're right. So I don't care who it is. I don't care who the character is, what his backstory is, what he's from, what he's not from. Ahmed Best is playing a really cool Jedi and plays a really pivotal role in saving Grogu's life and getting him out of there. So maybe after seeing the episode, you'll kind of see how they portrayed his character in the few minutes that we got.
We will definitely see. Like I said, I didn't see the episode, but I wanted to pop on to sort of give an explanation of why I haven't seen it. And that's because all things considered, this season have just kind of lost my interest with the show as a whole. Because
very interesting.
Because number one, I just don't think the episodes are as good this time around as they were in Mando season 1 and 2. I know I said it on here last week. I'll say it again. I am finding myself preferring the more serious tone of Andor compared to the Saturday morning cartoon, which is the opposite of what I thought I wanted. I thought I wanted that Saturday morning cartoon, and you've heard it from me a dozen times. Andor was never a show I cared about, and now I'm finding myself missing it, ironically.
Yeah. And that's very interesting, because I feel the exact opposite way. Because whereas for myself, going into this season, I was like, all right, the Saturday morning cartoon, crash the ship, fix the ship, leave, next episode. What are we going to get? More explosions? Cool. And especially after the first episode of this season, I was really feeling like that. And now these last few episodes I'm fully invested in this story. I'm loving it now. It's very interesting to see the dynamic between you and me. And we've had this multiple times before with Andor, where you weren't excited really at all, and you ended up really appreciating it towards the end of the season. And even it sounds like right now, looking back on it, that type of storytelling.
Yeah. And then another thing, Nova says it in the chat here, another thing that has kind of killed my interest for this show is the realization that the first 3 episodes, episode 2 so far, I think, at least to me, has been the best episode. But the first episode of the season did not grab me, and the 3rd episode was too much of a rabbit trail for me. And I think in order for this season to make a strong landing, they have to pull another big reveal in the finale, like they did with Luke in season 2. But that's kind of taken away for me, because I don't think they're going to top that reveal from, I don't think they're going to top the reveal of Luke in chapter 16. At least as far as how we would react to it. And number 2, even if they do, who's to say that in Mando season 4 or in another show entirely, they completely undo it like what they did with Luke?
Well, at the beginning of this season, I said I'm going to give it 3 episodes and then give my am I in or not? But I think what I got so far is so disconnected, I have to extend that out. I can't do it in 3 episodes. So.
I understand that.
Which to some people could be a massive negative. Like, I don't know whether to be invested in this show or not, and we're halfway done with the season. Yeah, that could be a huge drawback for people, and I totally understand why people aren't. For me, again, it's the feeling, it's the world, the immersion, and that's all there for me, so I'm fully invested, regardless of what kind of bunny trails or weird dips or different types of storytelling that they choose to do.
And that, unfortunately, is one area, Coffee, where we disagree, because yes, the idea of the worlds and feeling like you're part of it, that is one thing, and I can certainly respect that. But if there's a story that doesn't quite make sense or just doesn't even resonate with me, all that's for nothing. And
Sure.
to kind of top off my negative feelings as to why I've kind of gotten out of this season, which I am going to finish it, but I'm going to probably wait at this point until everything's released. But the final nail in the coffin for me was pretty much that one interview with John and Dave, where they pretty much said straight from the horse's mouth, all roads do indeed lead to the sequel trilogy.
Yeah. And I suppose there's nothing really that they can do to get out of that.
Mm-hmm.
What I hope will happen is that we can enjoy the ride as long as it lasts until we get to that point, and they make us a bridge, so to speak, between what we're getting and what we've gotten in the sequels, but don't put emphasis on that. And then from that point, they go on to a different timeline or a different focus, rather than really putting all their eggs in the basket of... I hope that their point in these shows is not to get us to come around to appreciate the sequels. Because if that's their focus, then I can only appreciate so far up to that point.
Yeah, not to mention it shouldn't be any outside source's job to make you appreciate those movies. Dave got incredibly lucky with managing to win over as many people as he did with the prequels, with the Clone Wars show. I don't think he can do the same thing with the sequel trilogy. And so yeah, all of that.
Comment. Sorry.
Which one?
Tom. Next one down. There you go.
Yeah. Mando 1 and 2 had standalone fun with linear finale. 3 is Mando mythology with building blocks. Only works if they pay it all off. Yeah.
And I can't tell where they're going because
Can
it's
you
so
highlight real
disconnected.
quick what KG just said there? They have many years to play with before the sequels. This is going to be a really unpopular opinion, but for me, if indeed all roads do lead to the sequel trilogy, then I don't want to waste any time getting there, because I'm from the standpoint of, okay, we're going to a place where at least I don't like, let's just get it over with, rip the Band-Aid off, and then move on to after the sequels, whatever that looks like.
So you are saying, let's get to the sequels as quickly as possible.
It's treason then. You are fake news.
I am very much saying that.
I totally respect that. Because there is an aspect to that of like, well, we know it's getting there eventually. Let's get to a point where we can focus on bigger and better things past that. And there's plenty of time and place in this world to tell future stories. So if we're on a path currently that's going to lead us there, let's get there and let's move on. So I understand that take. Again, I'm just going to enjoy the ride as much as I can. So we've gotten to the point. Oh, go ahead and finish your thought.
And like I said, I certainly hope that you and everyone else that is currently enjoying this show does. I just wish I could say the same.
And this is a fair take as well. I have no nostalgia for the prequels, so I am not as excited about Order 66 and live-action clones as most people. I just want Star Wars to escape this one era from prequels to sequels. Mm-hmm. Good, yeah. Nek Badesh says the same thing. Get away from the Skywalker era.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't feel the same way because I feel like there's still stories to tell in there. And ultimately, the heart of Star Wars is Anakin Skywalker. So, and obviously, you guys know I have the nostalgia for the prequels, so
yeah,
that's where I'm at. But I would love Ancient Sith. Obviously, my channel is called Coffee on Korriban. Anything to do with the distant history of any of these groups, but thousands of years previously,
or go thousands of years into the future. Show what that looks like,
or at least just take a break from it. All right. Well, we've gotten to the point in the show, and we were going to talk about Bo-Katan before this segment, but we're going to save this for after this news segment we're getting to right now. Breaking news.
Ooh.
In this news segment, I've got exclusive leaked audio from one of the recent congressional hearings. I think you guys are going to enjoy this. This is the way the news goes.
The Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire.
That was it?
Again, that was it. Leaked audio, hot mic. So,
What Senate was that?
So the recent controversy surrounding TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. I don't know. Paul, you might be. I think you maybe have posted things on there
Barely.
before. Okay.
These days, I just watch it.
Father Time is a TikTok fiend.
Oh yeah.
We all know that.
Your cousin is a TikTok heavy.
I am well aware of that. She was trying
yeah.
to convince me to get on TikTok, and I was
Yeah.
like, nah. I value
3
my
million
maturity.
followers.
Yeah.
For now, but yeah, that's
I would bet more than that. But anyway, so I don't have any personal stake in TikTok, whether it lives or dies, but that's what the controversy has been around recently, is should TikTok be banned in the United States? And I think they're already taking steps to ban it on government devices, which is good
They've already done that. That's been out
because
for a
it's
long time.
it's a Chi-Com spy app. I mean, think about this. If you were a foreign government, and I mean, the CCP, we already know what they're about. If you, as the government, wanted to get every single bit of information you could from the population of an opponent country, probably the best way to do that would be create the most addicting thing we've ever seen take hold, specifically in the youths of that country. And under the guise of it just being a fun, social media platform, all the while gathering all of that data. Now, we know
feeding information that you want feeded.
Yes, absolutely. That too. So, and the whole congressional hearings recently were all about, can the CCP access the data that ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, is storing? And the Shu Chu, I think was his name, Zin Shu Chu, or what, I can't remember. Choo Choo was saying repeatedly they have no way to access these servers, but we know that Chinese law in that country says that the government can basically force people to access whatever they want from those companies within their borders. There's ways around that. All of this data is fungible, basically. So, to summarize what this guy said, this is a quick clip of what the CEO of TikTok testified before Congress. We'll just play this for some context.
Is not owned or controlled by the Chinese government. It's a private company. 60% of the company is owned by global institutional investors. 20% is owned by the founder, and 20% owned by employees around the world. We will firewall protected US data from unwanted foreign access. TikTok will remain a place for free expression and will not be manipulated by any government. Will not be manipulated by any government.
A key word to catch right at the end: will not be manipulated by any government. And this is where my exclusive video footage comes into play, because I have obtained the final minutes of this congressional testimony after all the news people packed up and were giving their final reports, the camera shut off. I paid a secret investigator.
Wait, is this investigator the same one that got you the Trump tapes?
No. He was no less expensive than the one last week, but a different guy. Yeah, exactly, Steve. Susie Chu. But this private investigator that I paid was able to get into these congressional hearings and hide a secret camera and a hidden mic, and actually caught the CEO of TikTok saying something rather explosive. Because remember, that last line that he said in that previous clip was, cannot be manipulated by any government. But TikTok, I'm telling you right now, is promoting and putting into practice, and in beta testing right now, some hidden features in the TikTok app that absolutely have to do with control from foreign governments. Let's play that clip right now. I haven't even seen this myself, but I have it on good faith that my reporter got me this clip. So let's take a look at that right now.
TikTok has also, through its parent company, ByteDance, added several exciting new features. One of these features includes what are called contingency orders. These protect the government in case of uprising or revolt and can be activated at any time. All TikTok users can be controlled via a simple command to begin the contingency orders. The inhibitor chips will be activated and the order will be executed. And here is a video demonstration of contingency order 66 being carried out.
Execute order 66.
Yes, my lord.
Wow, I should have guessed.
That's how it's going.
I don't
66.
I don't think my private investigator was telling the truth exactly with that.
You need to get a refund for that, whatever you paid.
That didn't even sound like Mr. Shuchu. That was like a South African accent, not Chinese. Gosh, this is so embarrassing. Why do I keep wasting my money on these private investigators?
It could have been Elon Musk overdubbing him if it's a South African accent.
You know what? I probably should pre-screen these secret leaked tapes before I bring them on the air, because this is, 3 weeks in a row now that this has happened. Man, that's frustrating. That's just disappointing. But, that's just the way the news goes.
The Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire.
That is the way the news goes.
Yes,
it is.
So real quick, Tim, I'm about to get off of here and make myself a quick snack before bed. But before I do, I actually have something to show you guys. Something that came in the mail today.
Ooh.
That I am going to be editing up a video about. But look what I got right here.
We saw a preview.
It calls to you.
But yes, this is the new lightsaber I've been telling everyone about.
Nice. That looks nice.
Thank you. It came in the mail today. It's from a company called Saber Trio. It's
Cool.
It's not based off of any specific character. This is one of their original designs.
It's clean though.
And oh yeah, this thing here. I'll give you a quick close up.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'm not going to spark it up because it's kind of loud and my grandmother's gone to bed. But you do see the light shine through these windows here when it's turned on.
Ooh.
And this grip section here is amazing in the hand.
That looks awesome.
Thank you.
It looks really nice. Clean design. I like it.
Thank you. So before I go, I will go ahead and plug the video that I'm working on for that. It's me and my brother Jonathan. We unboxed this and gave it a quick test. And yeah, it'll be uploaded tomorrow on my channel, The Star Wars Guys. So,
Cool. I will look forward to seeing it. And again, I'm going to put Master Paul's link in the chat in case any of you guys watching are not subscribed to Master Paul and the Star Wars Guys. Please do. That would mean a whole lot to me. It costs you nothing. But for all of us, whether we have reached monetization or we're building towards monetization, every sub is appreciated. And Paul's room.
Thank you.
I like Paul's room.
What about my brick
All
wall?
right. Well,
brick wall?
I will see you guys later, okay?
All right. Thanks
Alrighty,
for popping on.
No problem.
Go get your snack. Snack.
Yeah. Dat Boy Steve says you get what you pay for. I guess so. I'm gonna have to vet my private investigators a little bit more from now on. But all right. So the last thing we're gonna touch on, because we're running out of time for today's show, is Bo-Katan. What are her motivations for staying?
All right. So going
in
back
this
to
cult?
your 3 options, I'm going to go with number 2.
Okay. And that would be she has a sense of belonging, a family that she finally feels accepted as part of a group, and so she's sticking it out because she has never experienced this before. That's what you're going with?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
What
I
about...
think she still has leadership aspirations, but
Mhm.
I'm going to go with she's enjoying the camaraderie that she's got. So
Yes, Blondie boy.
And she really
it flew by.
Really wants someone to believe her about the mythosaur.
Yeah. That was pretty funny how the armorer just kind of blew it off. It's like, you will see many things. It's like, but what if I saw it was real? This is the way.
It's pretty sad.
Sure you did. Sure you did. Yep, we've all seen the Mythosaur. We all get visions from time to time. It's okay. We understand. Welcome to our club.
She didn't like that. She wants
No, she
hear
didn't
what
at all.
She said.
So the first option I said is she's a genuine convert to the traditional way of the Mandalore.
I think
and
there's
that could have
some
been
of that in there.
right. I mean, I'm sure seeing the creature that your entire people is based off of has got to be pretty crazy. So is that what we're going with? Is that kind of a mix of the first two, but mainly she feels
the second one.
included?
Yeah. Finally.
Yeah.
And she has no home now. So what are you going to do with that?
It's true. It's true. So she, oh, you think she's just playing him? That could be a interesting,
think
a very
that.
interesting situation.
I don't want to think that.
No, I don't, because I really like the way that her character is going so far in this season, because it's a big change from where we saw her in the first episode. I think Bo-Katan feels there is some sort of way she can get the Darksaber from Din Djarin and regain control of Mandalore and rebuild her forces.
She wants it?
I mean, she obviously wants it. She feels it's hers, like she feels she has a claim to it. But I don't know. Let's see. Predictions for the next episode. You got anything?
I think we're going to get back to the chemistry guy. Or
Yeah.
the science guy.
I think that'd be a safe bet.
Get back to that. I think we'll get an angle where they're going to try and... I mean, where do they live now? On the side of a lake? That's not like a permanent place. I think they're going to start looking, branching out in the permanent place. Maybe she's going to show some more leadership. But I want to see the science guy. Otherwise, why did they have that episode?
Yeah, wolf in sheep's clothing. She could just be playing them just for a power play. Bo-Katan wants numbers and is counting on riding the Mythosaur to take power, but Filoni is big on creatures being autonomous. Mythosaur knows Din was in the water first. Filoni will make Bo pay. It's pronounced Bo Peep. I think we go back to Navarro. Yeah, I think we do. We've gone for far too long. Is he even interested in resurrecting IG-11 at this point?
Oh, I totally forgot about
past
that. Oh my god!
I know.
Wow, as I said, they're so disconnected. All these episodes are so disconnected.
Yeah, and I think there's not really any sense in predictions for the next episode. We can kind of long-term predict what we might get in the rest of the season, but I mean, we don't know what we're going to get. We didn't know we were going to get Jedi Jar Jar in this episode.
Pulling all the strings back in to kind of get some continuity going here, but
it's a roller coaster for sure. I guess we just enjoy the. Who was the droid? We haven't seen the droid bar shot from the trailer. Oh yeah, droid bar. That's right. I forgot that in the trailer. She has resentment against Din Djarin. I mean, we saw in episode 2 when Grogu returned to the castle. Let's get rid of him once and for all. She wants to get into the group and eat through it. Very, very possible. Very possible. What is sad is Mandalorian Season 1 and 2 were great, and Picard Season 1 and 2 were awful, but Season 3 had reversed roles. Interesting. And I've also heard a lot of people saying that this season is a complete failure. I really don't see that. I get criticisms of it, and maybe people that aren't so enthusiastic, but I've heard some pretty vocal thumbnails and titles on YouTube saying that this is just a complete failure. It's all Dave Filoni's fault and that sort of stuff.
Well, that was said the first couple episodes of Andor. Complete failure. This isn't Star Wars. I mean, the whole thing.
A lot of people still feel that way.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Very interesting situation. Yeah. Man, there's still a lot from the trailer that we haven't seen. I guess we are only halfway through the season, but yeah. See, I think it's really good.
I
agree.
I need them to start tying things together.
I agree. So, any last final words before we end the show tonight?
No, I'm okay with everything so far. Nothing has really bothered me out of anything other than the kid didn't die. But, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I get that. I can see how it might feel bland or kind of, all right, where's it going for most people? But again, the immersion's there for me. I'm invested now. It's really grown on me. Obviously, I want things to tie up towards the end of the season. I think they will. We're only halfway through, so whatever loose ends we have here have just as much time as we've had to tie themselves up. But Sabersmith, that's all right. There's always replay. But and that's another thing. Bad Batch, I haven't seen. Yes, you were. I haven't seen any of the Bad Batch. I really got to check that out once it's all out. So, I guess to summarize, I really, really enjoyed Ahmed Best coming back into Star Wars. For me, that was a very cathartic moment, and I'm very happy that he is feeling the appreciation that he didn't receive all those years ago. Bo-Katan could be a psychopath. She could be just playing everyone. She could be a genuine convert. She could be in it just because she feels like she belongs in this place. We could be going somewhere completely different next week in this next episode that we get that has nothing to do with what we've seen so far. It's kind of the going theme. We could return to the Doctor with his mind fried because they went to 50. We could be training some raptor younglings.
And I can't wait to see
could finally speak.
I can't wait to see Grogu with his jetpack. He's getting outfitted. I know it.
You know he's getting outfitted through the rest of the season.
He already got his chest plate, so
it's true. It's true. But at least we know that he's not, as of right now, getting his helmet because he's got to be able to speak the creed to get the helmet. So you love all this nostalgia and callbacks and have not watched The Bad Batch. I know. I have a lot on my plate right now, which is the reason for the serious lack in uploads. If I was really wanted to milk YouTube for all it's worth, I would be uploading every day, but I can't right now. So is IG-11 going to save the day again? I think he's had his moment. I don't even know if we're going back. Really should go back and check the Bad Batch season 2. So good with a couple filler episodes. Yeah, with the Bad Batch filler episodes are expected. But I really did enjoy the first season, and I don't know why I haven't checked it out yet, because I really want to. But that's where we're going to leave it for this show. I appreciate all of you guys for stopping by. Father Time, it's always nice having you on to talk about this stuff. Yep. I wish you knew who that was the first go-around. So
no idea.
All right. But
I was looking for Jar Jar. I heard Jar Jar was in it, and I literally was looking for Jar Jar. And it never happened.
Yeah, that probably was not the right way that they pitched this episode to you. But at least it didn't completely spoil it. But I guess then again, there was nothing really to spoil for you. So we'll leave it right there. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. If you've been here from the very beginning of the video, I really appreciate your time. May the stash be with you, and I will see you wherever I happen to see you in the galaxy.